Look around you. Everything you can touch, move, or break is bound by the strict, unforgiving laws of physics. The device you're watching this video on, the heavy desk it rests upon, the very air filling your lungs, all of it has mass. All of it consumes energy. It is undeniably real, and it plays by the rules. But what about a thought? What about a digital photograph, a secret you keep hidden, or a simple, fading memory of a rainy day? From a very young age, we are taught to divide our reality into two entirely separate worlds, the physical and the digital, the hardware and the software. We treat information as if it were a ghost, a weightless, invisible concept living completely outside the physical realm. I often ask myself while staring at a screen, when I download gigabytes of data, the hard drive doesn't get a single gram heavier. And when I hit delete forever, what actually happens? The drive doesn't get lighter. The room doesn't shake. It seems like the information simply vanishes into an absolute void. A logical question arises. Does the creation and destruction of information really cost the universe absolutely nothing? Do our minds and our digital worlds truly exist in some magical vacuum, completely immune to the laws of nature? Can a piece of data, a simple thought in your head, literally have a physical weight? The truth is, our intuition deceives us. This is the greatest illusion of human perception. In reality, information is deeply, fundamentally physical. Your data has mass. Your memories have a temperature, and every single time you forget something, the universe literally heats up. Welcome to NEXA. Today, we are going to measure the physical weight of your thoughts. To understand how a simple idea could possibly have physical consequences, we have to travel back to 1867 and look at a paradox that terrified the brightest minds in science for over a century. It was proposed by a physicist named James Clerk Maxwell, and today it is known as Maxwell's demon. It all starts with the most depressing rule in the cosmos, the second law of thermodynamics. It states that everything in the universe is constantly decaying, sliding into chaos. Heat dissipates, stars die, and order crumbles into disorder. This unavoidable decay is called entropy. But Maxwell asked a dangerous question. He imagined a sealed box filled with gas. This gas is just a chaotic swarm of molecules randomly bouncing off each other. Some are moving incredibly fast, meaning they're hot, and some are moving slowly, meaning they're cold. According to the laws of physics, this chaos is permanent. But Maxwell imagined a tiny, highly intelligent creature, a demon, sitting inside the box. This demon controls a tiny microscopic door in the middle of the box, dividing it into two halves. The demon doesn't use any physical force. He just watches. When he sees a fast, hot molecule, he opens the door and lets it pass to the right side. When he sees a slow, cold molecule, he lets it pass to the left side. He uses exclusively his knowledge to open and close the door at the exact right microsecond. Over time, all the hot molecules end up on one side and all the cold molecules on the other. The demon has just created a colossal temperature difference out of nowhere. He has reversed entropy. He has created a limitless source of energy, completely breaking the most fundamental law of reality. And for over 100 years, science was paralyzed by this idea. And here I ask myself, if the demon doesn't expend physical energy to move the door, why can't he just generate infinite power using pure information? Is knowledge itself a bug in the code of the universe? The solution to this paradox, which forever changed our understanding of reality, only appeared in 1961. A physicist named Rolf Landauer realized one brilliant thing. For the previous 100 years, scientists had been looking in the wrong direction. They were focused on the door and the molecules themselves, but they forgot about the mind of the demon. And here a logical question arises. How does the demon even know which door to open? To make a decision, he must measure the speed of the molecule and record this data in his memory. And memory cannot exist in empty abstraction. Whether it's a silicon microchip, magnetic tape, or a biological neuron, any information carrier is always a physical system. but every physical system has a capacity limit. Sooner or later, the demon's hard drive will become full. To continue sorting molecules and not lose his mind from data overload, he's forced to do the exact same thing we do, erase old information to make room for the new. And it is at this exact moment that the universe collects its debt. Landauer mathematically proved a staggering fact. You can measure and record information completely for free without expending energy. But the act of erasing information always, unconditionally, and inevitably requires physical work. Erasing a single bit of data releases a tiny but mathematically precise amount of heat. Maxwell's demon does not break the laws of physics because the heat he extracts from the box must be given back the moment he clears his memory. Information is physical, and its destruction must be paid for with an increase in entropy. And this is where this dry physics becomes terrifyingly personal. I start thinking about my own mind. We are used to considering our brain as something elevated, some magical generator of immaterial ideas. But in reality, it is an incredibly complex, wet biological machine that consumes about 20 watts of energy. Every time you learn something new, read a book, master a skill, memorize a stranger's face, your synapses in your brain physically rewire. New neural pathways are created. Your thought literally acquires a physical, spatial architecture inside your skull. But I ask myself, what happens when we forget? All my life, I perceived forgetting as something passive, like an old photograph slowly fading in the sun or an echo dying out in an empty room. It seems like the memory simply dissolves into time, leaving no trace. But thermodynamics and Landauer's principle tell us something entirely different. Forgetting is an active, violent physical act. For your mind to remain clear so you don't drown in an endless ocean of sensory noise and unnecessary details, your brain constantly engages in synaptic pruning. It purposefully destroys old data. And every time your consciousness permanently erases a painful memory, forgets a voice from the past, or simply clears the cache of yesterday's worries, your brain does real work. It physically dismantles microscopic structures. And in that very moment, according to the laws of the universe, you release a tiny but absolutely real fraction of heat into the surrounding world. Your internal emotional release is a literal, measurable discharge of entropy. Your thoughts have density, and your forever erased secrets have a temperature. We are not just observers of reality. We are biological machines for processing thermodynamic information. And this makes me wonder about something even more frightening. If our thoughts are so deeply woven into basic physics, then where is the limit to this logic? What if the laws of information govern not only our smartphones and our minds, but the very fabric of space and time itself? If our thoughts are a physical process governed by thermodynamics, then I can't help but ask myself, what about the cosmic scale? If the erasure of every single bit of information in our brains and in every computer on Earth constantly increases the entropy of the universe, then where does all this data eventually go? Does reality have its own memory limit? For decades, science believed that the universe possessed the perfect trash bin, black holes. For a long time, it seemed absolutely logical. Throw any object, an old book or a hard drive, into a black hole and it will vanish forever. Its information will be irrevocably erased from the fabric of existence. But as we already know, if information is fundamentally physical, you can't just destroy it without consequences. This realization spawned one of the greatest crises in science, the black hole information paradox. I often think about this. Is the universe itself capable of suffering from irrevocable amnesia? Modern theoretical physics says no. A concept known as the holographic principle suggests something mind-bending. When an object falls into a black hole, the information about it doesn't disappear into the singularity. It is preserved on its surface, the event horizon, encoded as tiny quantum pixels, Planck areas. It turns out that a black hole is not absolute emptiness. It is the densest, most perfect hard drive in the universe. At the fundamental level of reality, not a single byte of data, not a single event is ever truly forgotten. But if information is preserved and its processing and inevitable erasure always generate heat and chaos, then where are we heading? By asking this logical question, we approach the darkest and most majestic finale. Every action we take, every thought, every permanently erased memory inexorably pushes the universe toward a state of maximum entropy. Physicists call this state heat death. But now, understanding Landauer's principle, we see the true nature of this end. It's not just the cooling of stars, it is an absolute informational death. The moment when there will be no free energy left in the universe to write, read, or erase even a single new bit of data. The moment when the cosmos will forever lose its ability to change and to think. And this brings me back to the most important point. Who are we in all of this colossal, frightening process? All our lives, we have been used to feeling like mere bystanders, spectators watching the universe through the safe, impenetrable glass of our consciousness. But the truth is, there is no glass, and there never was. Every thought you have, every decision you make, every byte of information you create or erase in your head right now directly interacts with the very fabric of reality. You don't just exist in the universe, you are an active part of its physical code. You are the very biological mechanism through which the universe processes thermodynamic information and comprehends itself. And the next time you find yourself in complete silence, just remember, even in absolute external stillness, the very fact that the process of thinking is happening inside you forever changes the balance of the cosmos. Your thoughts have weight. Thank you for exploring the frontiers of reality with NEXA.